This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Cam Newton. And I saw this article the other day, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it because this is one of those where it's really interesting, and you've got to understand where you're at in your career and what the situation is. And so, according to a report, Cam Newton has no interest in being a backup whatsoever. He wants to be a starter. No matter what, he wants to be a starter. Now, he's coming off the Liz Frank injury with the foot. He's got the bum shoulder. Some of you out there wanted the Dolphins to sign him. I wasn't a fan of that because if you sign him, then you've got to change everything to his style, and your backup quarterback doesn't fit what he does. So then you've got to get a backup quarterback that fits what he does. So that's where it becomes a kind of a hairy situation. And then here's the other thing. Cam wants to get paid. I keep thinking that Cam Newton could end up sitting out the year when it's all said and done. I don't think that's a good idea on his part. I think for him, he's got to swallow his pride a little bit here. I get it, Carolina screwed him over, but he might be better off going somewhere where he might be the backup, but with a chance to start, because maybe it's an injury-prone starter, a young starter that could struggle, those kind of things. Now, here's the other problem with Cam. And that one of the things that you have to be concerned about is if you bring him onto your team, he's such a lightning rod that he's going to bring attention to himself and put pressure on the starting quarterback. And Cam, I don't know if Cam realizes that, but he will be toxic to a certain extent. And it's really weird how it's all kinds of different things coming together for Cam, and they're all negative. The COVID thing doesn't allow people to work him out, doesn't allow people to check him out the way they could. Foot, shoulder, all of that. His demands become unrealistic because people have made already decisions. His presence is a magnifying, because he's got a big personality. He's not a low-key guy. Andy Dalton could go from starting to backing up Dak Prescott with no problem because people don't look at him like a franchise guy. Whereas Cam is a guy that was the league MVP, took a team to the Super Bowl. People know that he's not we all know he's not a great passer, but he's a great talent, great player. And he wills things at times to happen, but it's his style of game that you have to be tied to. And remember, he can't play the game in the pocket. He's not a good enough passer. So it says Cam Newton being released. Newton has no plans to sign with a team as a backup. Joseph Person of The Athletic reports the 30-year-old can't find a team that's interested in bringing him in as a starter in the near future. He's content to wait until an injury opens up an opportunity. Okay? No way Cam Newton signs with anyone as a backup. He'll continue to rehab and wait for travel restrictions to lift so teams can examine him. Worst case, he waits until a starter gets hurt. Now, the problem with Cam is he has to wait for a starter that's in his kind of offense to get hurt. Because if it's a team that has a traditional offense, traditional drop-back quarterback, and that's their backup, they're not all of a sudden going to switch to Cam, especially in the middle of a season. They don't want to do stuff like that. That's the part Cam doesn't understand. So it has to be offenses that are in place already. Like they signed Anthony Gordon in Seattle. God forbid Russell Wilson goes down. You don't want to throw Anthony Gordon into the fire. Now you go sign Cam Newton. Lamar Jackson. RG3 is a jag at this point. Lamar Jackson's a complete freak. Okay, nobody can run the ball like that guy. Okay, he's Barry Sanders in the way he runs the ball. I know he's not a great passer either, but in that kind of an offense, that's the Cam Newton type offense too. Now, Cam is not going to be nearly as elusive as Jackson. Jackson can outrun people and he can avoid tackles. That's not Cam. Cam's a Mack truck, and he's going to get 8 yards. And if he has to go through 3 people to get him, he'll do that because that's who he is. But that's his style of game. So not only does he have to wait for an injury, he has to wait for an injury that fits his style of play. And that's where it becomes a real problem for Cam. I mean, this COVID thing has affected all of us around the world one way or another. In our business, in our lives, in our hobbies, all of that, man. It doesn't matter what it is. It's really amazing. And for Cam, it affected him big time because it did not allow him to really connect with teams to give him a chance. Now, he's as limited as it gets in order to add him.
He's almost sitting there waiting for somebody to go down, right?
That's
open
all.
up a spot. That's it. That's the only way.
That's what he said. That's it.
It's pretty much.
That's all the report says right there, is that's what he's going to do. But that limits him to where he can end up.
God, a former league MVP, number 1 in the draft.
Yep.
National man.
Yeah. But he's not a good passer.
The resume, resume,
yeah.
And to be
because the
on
guy's
the outside looking
the guy's a
in.
player. The guy's a player. You know what I mean?
Is it the injury? Is it the injury?
Well, I mean, it's a Liz Frank injury that
right?
you don't know, and he's also coming off the shoulder. And then his style of play is also very dangerous.
If he had gotten back and played 5 or 6 games and played decent, not great, decent, does he have a job?
Maybe, yeah.
It is that injury.
Yeah, because they know he's healthy at least.